Welcome to this video. I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com, and this is
Spiritsong with Spiritsonoasis.com.
And we're here today on the topic, if the Aquarian Age is here, where's all the unicorns and rainbows? So I thought of this topic, and Spiritsong has so beautifully decided to join me. Appreciate you being here.
Sure.
Twice now in the last month, when I've been doing intense shamanic ceremony work, I got the message, the Aquarian Age is here. And I got it last month in April. And then I looked around and here comes the Israeli-Gaza crisis and a bunch of mass shootings in the US. I said, this doesn't look like the Aquarian Age at all. And then I did more shamanic work earlier this month in May as we record this, and was given the message again with the encouragement to spread it. And I said, well, I'm not making a lot of sense out of this. I thought the Aquarian Age was when everyone was living together in love and harmony and people were treating each other well. And there is some of that going on, but there's clearly a lot of challenge in the air as well.
Yes.
Okay. So we've got some insight into that. If you've been kind of sensing this Aquarian Age really coming online too, we want to explain what we're feeling about what's actually happening in terms of what's happening on the inside and what's happening on the outside. I'll tell you my basic vibe here. Which is, I've noticed, Spiritsong has noticed, and many of our metaphysical friends have noticed things are moving faster in the inner world now. For example, I got a beautiful Reiki session the other day. It was actually the most powerful Reiki I've ever gotten. And I've gotten Reiki from this practitioner before, but she said, oh my God, this was like twice as fast as it's ever been. Things moved so quickly, so powerfully. And she says, things have shifted. You know, she also thinks, yep, the Aquarian Age is here, it's cooking. And here in the inner world, it's easier to do light work, it's easier to send light and love, easier to go to deeper levels personally more quickly. So I think what the allies have been telling me with the Aquarian Age is just the inner worlds are really opening up much more quickly. And my sense is over time, when enough of us light workers step up and do our inner work, then that's going to reflect here in the outer world as well.
Yes.
Anything you want to share on that?
I agree. And I think many of us have been stepping up for a long time, but I think there is an amplification going on now that makes the work that we're doing, even if we've been doing this for a while, even more worth doing because it is amplified. The energies are increased in an exponential way. And I think when we do things together, like we do with your Monday night gathering.
Yeah, New Earth support team.
Yes, yeah. And the whole focus is on the energy of helping all of us to ascend, to awaken, to be aware of our oneness and how we are in this new age. And it's time to really let its fullness come through to us. And that's what I believe is happening. And yet, like you say, where are the unicorns and what?
Rainbows.
Rainbows. When we look at the chaos of the world around us, a lot of times we don't see that part.
Yeah, although we're seeing it, I think, with President Biden. My perception is he's really working in an Aquarian spirit. Whether he buys into the woo-woo stuff or not, I have no idea. But I mean, look at what he passed the $1.9 trillion relief plan. A lot of people got money they desperately needed. Now he's really trying to put a really powerful infrastructure plan in place. And my sense is he's really working toward the greater good, not just in America, although obviously his main interest is in getting the American citizenry back on track after this horrific COVID economic and health crisis, and really trying to help out. But he's also keeping a global view. He understands that if we don't get the environmental crisis under control, we're all messed up. We're all in terrible shape.
Right.
And I love that he's putting the environment at the heart of his whole agenda.
And he may not be aware of the earth as our earth mother, our Pachamama, that she is living in a much higher sense, perhaps, than he's even aware, but he understands that she is our source of food and well-being, our home, and that if we don't take care of her and each other, because that's what it seems to me like he's doing with a lot of the things that he's pushing for. They're about helping people who can't help themselves very well.
Mm-hmm.
Even before Biden got into office, though, we were lacking some of that kind of leadership. And one of the things about this whole era that we've been in with COVID is a lack of leadership and not knowing where to look for truth or what is true or what is not true.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that we have to remember, we don't have to anything, but the one thing that is helpful to remember is that we are always connected to source. And we have been told in many ways over many years through avatars and beings of higher consciousness what is coming now and what we're in. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree. We're in it.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. And one thing I'm noticing with the whole COVID crisis and the vaccines coming out, whatever you think about vaccines, whether you think they're a godsend or some demonic plot, you know, the fact is, with so much suffering globally, there's so much more incentive now for countries to help each other. And there's so much more incentive for people across borders, across nations, across ethnicities to help each other because we're all in such a world of hurt. And that's very much in the Aquarian spirit also.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I think I see that more actually on a personal level in our neighborhoods or in groups or organizations we belong to than the bigger picture. It's lagging behind a little bit, but there are those who are coming along and we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I experience, and you may too, people want to know, what can I do to help? What is my job? Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to be doing? I feel like it's important that I'm here right now and I'm supposed to be helping. Well, folks, I think the most important thing we can do is to love one another, to be love, to radiate the spirit of love and light and oneness. Because the Aquarian age, what we've been waiting for is the time when we are aware that we're all one. Mm-hmm. We are one global family, one universal family. Who knows how far beyond, but for now it's enough trying to take care of people in our own neighborhood or our friends, family. But I know for me personally and a lot of other people in our family, we reached out and helped each other. Mm. And friends and neighbors did that. And that's one of the gifts of this gift in funny wrapping paper, I call it, when something happens that looks terrible. And it really is, if we understand it, I believe, part of this time of shift to help us be aware how much we are one.
I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
If you're wondering, well, what can I do beyond what Spiritsong and I have already described, I would give what I would call my standard recommendations. If you want to help the Aquarian age move along a little faster, so it does spread into a more of an obvious external physical manifestation where we are all treating each other better and with more unconditional love and light, I would first suggest work on your own awakening. You cannot share with the collective what you do not embody within yourself. So job one for me is always work on your own personal awakening and get your consciousness in the most solid, divinely anchored place that you can, ideally in your body, in your daily reality. And then once you have that going, then each of us will get unique guidance. There's no one script for everybody.
So true.
It is all internally guided once you have a basic awakening, and then you'll know what you're guided to do. Once you have your pipeline to your inner wisdom open at that basic awakening level, then you'll know what your unique little place is in the great scheme, and each of us has a little different assignment. And if you don't yet have a reliable method you can use to get that connection with your personality and your higher self beautifully merged together, then my free invocation masterclass will do that. Or at least it works for a lot of people. So you can go to astroshaman.com, and then on the top, there's a few words. The last word is invocations. And if you click the word invocations or tap it, you'll get to a page that will describe it, give you a chance to start the 6-part class, which is totally free. And there you'll have an invocation for embodied awakening, another one for healing, a very simple way to work this into a daily little process that takes almost no time or effort, but for many people is really helping them walk in embodied awakening much more powerfully. One of many ways to do it, but the particular way I was called to share. If you got something that works better, do that. But it's available if that sounds interesting.
You and I are so similar in this way of not feeling any attachment to my way is the right way.
No.
That there are so many different ways, but both of us have been called to assist in any way we can. And I just want to honor your beautiful work for so many years and how many people it has helped, including me, and making it so simple that people can just step into it and have incredible changes in their lives in such a short time. And I honor you for that. And thank you.
Well,
that wasn't scripted.
None of this is scripted, actually.
No, we don't do that, but it just rose up, and I thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. You've given me a lot of help when I had critical moments, and thank you for your healing gifts for me too.
Yes.
Thanks.
Always my honor.
Okay. So before this gets too snarky or whatever, too saccharine, is there anything more you wanted to share before we wrap up?
No, just how much I appreciate that we're all doing this together, because it is that beauty of all of us working with each other as family, honoring our differences and understanding that we are all sparks of divine love from the same source. And it's an exciting time.
Yeah.
I have heard that there were many more people wanting to come in during this time than there were bodies to receive them. So it's food for thought. It could be that if we're here, we just are one of the lucky ones, or had something working just right, that we were able to come in and help all of us through this. And it is here, and yet more is coming.
Much more.
Much more. Hold on, folks. We are going to see things that we've never even imagined.
Yeah. And I guess maybe back last year when I forecasted on December 23rd, 2020, the great Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that came together hours after the winter solstice at 0 degrees Aquarius and a few minutes. You know, this is one of the biggest events in astrology. These guys only come together every 20 years, and they're actually starting a 200-year cycle of air signs. And it's like, wow, what symbolism is that this very powerful major astrological event happens at the beginning of Aquarius, hours after a solstice. And it's like, okay, that feels like maybe the beginning of the Aquarian Age. And now the inner guidance came to me that we're really firing in now. And so it's like part one, inner world work, which will eventually lead to the outer beautiful reality that we want. And that, like the song of the Hair, when the moon is in the 7th house, that song. And that's what we're going to have eventually, that beautiful world that song describes.
And then in the 60s, we were in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I think we're much more fully into it now. Yeah,
it doesn't happen all at once.
No. and yeah, that's, I think a lot of us would like that, but there's something that can happen. We can reach a certain number, the 100th monkey theory, whatever, that would cause us, and there may be, as we are feeling the increase in these energies, something that does help us have a jump into a higher dimension that takes us on an even more awake and accelerated path.
Yeah, and in fact, I've done events in my Awakening Plus program where someone asks, well, when does the Aquarian Age come in for real? And I've received guidance on that question more than once, and it's always the same answer. They say, when enough of y'all wake up. when enough humans are awake on the planet, that will be the tipping point, and then the obvious physical manifestation of that will be more obvious. So I guess I would say this is not something we watch from the sidelines, folks. It's something we make happen ourselves. So if you feel called to assist in this, be as awake as you can, whatever you're intuitively called to do to assist love and light, do that. And when enough of us do that, we got our Aquarian age.
And I'd like to share that I think it can be a distraction to be trying to figure it out, to have something that we want to pin down to a certain time, because we're in great mystery, as the Native Americans called it. And that's how the divine works. It isn't supposed to be understood completely, except that we're here, we show up, we're in a place of love. One of the things, I like to say is I say yes. Simple, simple, simple. And we don't have to make it complicated.
No.
And it's happening.
All right. You feel complete with our sharing today?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to work with me, astroshaman.com. I do astrology, shamanic healing, awakening activation, internal family systems therapy, influenced work, kinds of juicy stuff at astroshaman.com, plus the Awakening Plus membership I mentioned. And Spiritsong, you're at
Spiritsongoasis.com. I also do astrology and inner journey work, and I use a different modality each time, or modalities, a number of them in every session, never knowing exactly what's going to happen. Part of the delight of it, just giving myself to spirit. And there is that infinite intelligence that flows, that knows what each of us needs. And I like it that I can surrender and open and be a catalyst and a vessel through which spirit flows to each person to get what they need.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching this video with us. We're so grateful you've joined us, and we wish you infinite blessing.
Thank you.